For 10 months last year, I dedicated my whole life pretty much to training so I could go from this to this. Now in this video, I want to share the exact workouts and workout structure that I used to add 10 kilos of muscle in that space of time. Now I'm not a fucking fitness YouTuber. I could think of nothing worse than not being able to make a video unless you're half naked. But the results speak for themselves. Now, I worked with a personal trainer for a bit and he taught me everything I needed to know about bulking and cutting. He'd done it various times. So having that accountability and experience there already was super helpful. Now, there is going to be quite a bit of information to get through. It's nothing crazy. It's not fucking rocket science. Obviously, it's just working out. But do take a pen and pad or use your notepad on your phone and make some notes. I'm going to put some PDFs into the video description as well. So if you don't want to write down the workouts or take notes on all the other stuff, just go and fucking copy the workout. I'll put it in the video description. But unless you follow the other bits too, you're probably not going to get anywhere near the same results. Now, the first thing that you need to do before you even go to the gym for the first workout is you need to know how many calories you are currently eating on a day-to-day basis, okay? Or find out your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. To do this without being complex, you can just weigh yourself, say a Monday, eat your normal food that you would normally eat without changing a single thing, and then weigh yourself after 7 days. If you have not gained or lost any weight, that's your BMR. So if you count those calories for those days, you're going to know your maintenance calories, okay, so that your weight stays the same. Once you know that, you can then add surplus. Now, I recommend 250 to 400 calories surplus per day, which might feel like quite a lot. But when you start lifting heavier, it's going to get really easy to eat those extra calories. I remember some days I'd be like just fucking cramming it in, like you really don't want it. It's really fucking hard. I love food, like I love eating. But in the first weeks, you might find it quite hard. You're going to feel really full. You might feel like you need a shit like all the time because you're just going to be full up with food and calories. But you need that extra fuel so that you can grow and so you can lift heavier weights in the gym. So another thing as well is that your body is going to get more used to eating more food, okay? You should weigh yourself every week, even every day after a while, because once the weight stops going on or you feel like you're getting less strong in the gym, it's time to add some more calories again. I'd recommend probably adding like 250 to your surplus every month. I mean, I think I got up to like over 1,200 calories more than my usual. I think, you know, towards the end, even a little bit more, I went up to like 4,500 calories, which seems like a lot, but again, you will be so hungry, you'll be surprised how much you can actually put away. Obviously, you don't want to be dirty bulking. By all means, keep a cheat meal for 1 day a week, or, you know, a little sweet treat or whatever after that meal once a week, but you don't want to be eating shit food. Like, I recommend the carnivore diet. That's what I did for pretty much all of the bulk. That's just because it's nicer, I think. Who doesn't want to eat meat, cheese, butter, eggs, like all the nice shit that you really want to eat anyway? Like, do you really want to be eating fucking quinoa and bulgur wheat? Of course you don't. Eat the stuff that tastes good. Also, it's better for energy, I found. Gets rid of brain fog, and I felt stronger in the gym. So that's why I recommend it. Now, the workout is a full body 3-day split. Okay, so you're training every single body part every single time you go to the gym 3 days a week. Now, you're also using progressive overload. That basically means you're trying to lift a tiny bit heavier, maybe like 1.25 kilos heavier on all of your lifts than you did last time whenever you go to the gym. If you can't do that, maybe you can squeeze out an extra rep, okay? But really, you want to be trying every single time you go into the gym to lift a tiny bit heavier, at least week on week. So let's get into the workouts now. Again, I'm going to put the PDFs into the video description. So if you want those exercises, just go and get them. Now, phase 1 is the strength phase, okay? So you're keeping the reps low, like 5 reps, okay? 3 sets of 5 reps on all the exercises. This will basically give you the strength to keep pushing through into the next phases. So this really sets the foundation. But yeah, 5 reps only. Apart from, I think, like weighted sit-ups, 2 sets of 10. Other than that, everything is 5 reps. Now you run these phases for 6 to 9 weeks, okay? And this will depend on you, what your gains are like, what your body feels like. If you feel like you just hit a plateau hard, it doesn't matter what you do, you can't push over it. And it doesn't matter how many calories you're eating, you seem like you just haven't got the minerals to push through. Or your body stops responding the same way to the workouts. That'll be when it's time to change at some point in that 6 to 9 weeks. Now, phase 2 is the growth phase. This is all 8 to 10 reps. Now, when you go from phase to phase, you should switch up at least a few of the exercises. So if you're doing squats in your first phase, which it's not, but I think it's deadlifts. If you're doing deadlifts, switch to RDL. If you're doing cable bicep curls, switch to a dumbbell bicep curl. Do you understand what I mean? So just switch up a few exercises every time you change phases. If there's one that you're doing really well on and you're making really great progression, keep that exercise. So yeah, in phase 2, all the reps are 8 to 10. So after another 6 to 9 weeks, phase 3 is what's called the pump phase. Now this is basically 12 to 15 reps. Again, you should have switched out a few exercises and continue this phase for 6 to 9 weeks. This is when it gets really fucking hard. Like, especially when you're using progressive overload, which you should be doing throughout this whole thing. So you're constantly lifting heavier and heavier and heavier. By the time you're doing like 15 reps, it's just, the workouts get really hard. They get really fucking taxing, and you are going to have to take extra care in your rest and recovery, making sure that you get those fucking 9 hours of sleep. Always make sure as well that you're hitting your calories every single day. Like, never go too much over, like maybe 100 over, but definitely never go under, especially when you're trying to bulk. Like, you cannot afford to do that. And then the last phase is the cutting phase. Now this is when you go back to 5 reps. You basically switch back to what you did at the beginning, okay, in the first phase, everything down to 5 reps again. Because you're going to be cutting calories, you want to be doing the real bulky strength compound stuff again, so that you can help keep some of that muscle on your frame as you're cutting calories. Now the cut, depending on how much fat you've accumulated, it can take months, okay? It can take, 6 months plus, depending on how much chop you fucking acquired over this stretch. Now, also, if your main goal is to bulk, you should not be doing cardio. Like, do not fucking do it. If your whole aim is to add muscle, do not run a single mile. Like, other than just getting around in your day-to-day, like walking to the fucking car or like walking at your job, whatever it is you might do not do any cardio, okay? Because this is only going to slow you down. I was like a hard gainer, I consider myself, which is funny because once I really honed it in on the details, tracked my workouts, tracked all of my calories, like, weight was flying on me. Like, I was just crushing workouts. Keep it gradual with the calories. Don't just think, oh, I'm going to start off and add 1,000 straight away, because you'll just be adding more fat than your body is going to be able to deal with. And when you're getting big, yeah, it looks great. You've got more size when you look in the mirror, but when you see all the fucking chub there, you just feel shit again. So there's no point in doing that. Just go really, really gradual. Other than that, making sure you're supplementing like a good natural testosterone booster, vitamin D, magnesium, zinc, all of the good stuff that's, good for your testosterone. Lots of fucking eggs, avocados, fatty fish, all that kinds of stuff. Making sure that you're getting good rest and recovery, and just stick to those exercises. If you do this workout plan that I'll leave in the description, it will work for you, okay? If you do exactly what I've said, it will work for you. Like, stop watching fucking Sam Soulek content, okay? He's on super physiological amounts of gear. You are never ever going to be able to get that massive unless you're shooting up like fucking 10 mils of test every single week. You do not need to do that. You just need to be consistent and keep doing it for months, okay? Even you could bulk for a fucking year like I did. Some people bulk for years and years, you know, 2 years. Do a 2-year bulk and then cut, and you'll be in unbelievable shape. But I know it's hard to see at the time, but you have to just... My fucking light's gone out. Look at that. You have to just keep going and keep being consistent. Guys, remember, it is your God-given right to be successful, and it's your responsibility to reach your potential.